Hello, you're listening to the servant of God, Pastor Banky.
We are still looking at what it means to prosper in the realm of the soul. We have explained the fact that prosperity covers three levels: the spiritual, the physical, and in between them, the level of the soul. We have seen the fact that the most important prosperity is that we have in the realm of the spirit, which is basically a matter of faith and relationship with God the Father through the Son Jesus Christ. Now, we have been looking at the issue of the prosperity of the soul. Now, one thing I want to continue to develop on, we talked the other time about relationships. There's a particular relationship I began to speak about last time, which I want to develop further today. To do that, let me quickly read from the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 2, and from verse 18. Now, it says something that led up to that level. And I concluded by saying, "Thus I hated all the fruit of my labor for which I had labored under the sun. For I must leave it to the man who will come after me, and who knows whether he will be a wise man or a fool. Yet he will have control over all the fruit of my labor, for which I have labored by acting wisely under the sun. So this too," he says, "is vanity." That is, laboring to acquire and lay up material things when you don't know whether the fellow who inherited will be a fool or a wise man. He said it makes the labor vanity. That was what Solomon was saying here. Somewhere else, Solomon will tell you that a foolish son makes the heart of the father sad. For example, you will read in chapter 17 and verse 25 of the book of Proverbs. He said, "A foolish son is a grief to his father, and bitterness to her who bore him." Why am I talking about this? I'm still talking about being rich in the matter of relationships, and we're emphasizing the wealth that has to do with our family relationship. Last time I explained that don't just follow people because they look outwardly rich. Donald Trump made a statement. He was giving counsel to a friend of his in one of his books. And I said, this is not the word of God. A man wanted to succeed in his business. He gave the man counsel, go home and go and divorce this woman. She's not letting you move ahead. Forgetting that wealth is not just about success in business. It's not about money. Listen, to have a home to go back to have a woman who loves you, to have a woman who's dedicated to you as a wife, or the other way too, to have a husband that adores you, these things are matters of wealth. It is not just money. These things are matters of wealth. I've been emphasizing that people must learn how to value things. You cannot be doing business and then you allow your family to go to the dogs. That's why we read these two scriptures now concerning the issue of sonship. That you can have a son that will make you regret having money. That is very, very possible. And why wouldn't you put in the energy, therefore, to make sure that your family doesn't turn out like this? That's what I'm trying to emphasize. Why won't you put in the energy to lead your family in the way of righteousness? Sometimes, now please, I know this one, some people may disagree with me. I don't know, people sometimes will send children off to young children off to boarding house. Why? He says so that a teacher can teach him discipline. And I ask myself, why should a teacher be the one to teach my children discipline? What is my job as a parent? Why should a teacher be the one to teach my daughter discipline? What is the job of my wife? What is the problem a lot of times? We want to be free to be able to pursue the thing we want to pursue in life. We now start rationalizing it. If you know your child requires discipline, that is why you should put your foot down and give it to him. If your child, look, listen, there are days in which you must bear this in mind when children had to travel far to go to school, but now there are schools all around you. So the situations are different from when people like us went to secondary school, went to primary school. The point I'm trying to make is that you cannot say you have prospered except your family is prospering. Don't sacrifice the integrity, the wealth, the peace, the progress of your family because you are trying to make money. Sometimes, when we don't have wisdom, father goes out in the morning by 6 a.m., mother is out by 5:45, and at the end of the day, a little child is being raised by the housemaid, and the parents, this is deception I hear all the time. We are doing all these things for the children. You are lying. You are not doing these things for the children. Your presence in their lives is more important, all right, than the money that you are giving them. Once I was talking to one of my colleagues, he said that, you should be able to take your children abroad for holiday. This is a nonsense talk I hear these days because of, what they call abundance of food. When people have eaten and they are full, they suddenly start making something look like basic necessities of life. Ability to take your children abroad for holiday. That is around nonsense. Taking your children abroad for a holiday has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with their ability to make progress in life. There is nothing they want to see abroad they can't see on television if necessary. I can bring abroad to the home anytime. Now, listen, this is not about whether I can afford it or not. I'm trying to say those things are not important in life. Those things are less important than the fact that when my daughter is sick, I am there to carry her and pet her and speak good words into her ears. When my children misbehave, when my sons misbehave, I'm there to discipline them and say to them, this is not the right thing to do. I don't want to have a foolish son that's going to become a grief to me later. Why? Because today I have spent all my energy pursuing something which is material. That's because you do not put value on what is important. That is the point I am making. You see, parents, they don't give even attention to relationship with themselves. Like I keep on telling women, if you didn't want to marry, why did you bother? That if you didn't want a family, why did you bother? And men too, not only women. But now that you have it, you must be ready to put the energy into it to make it what it's supposed to be. You work from morning till night. It is not because of the children. Please listen to me. One of you can stop what you are doing so that these children will be trained in righteousness. Don't ever forget. The reason why God chose Abraham is in the book of Genesis chapter 18. God said, "For I have chosen him in order that he may command his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord by doing righteousness and justice, in order that the Lord may bring upon Abraham what he has spoken about him." Can you see? The purpose of God in the life of Abraham was that he will command his children and his household after him. I have a question for you, good Christian man, good Christian woman. Who is commanding your household? Think about it. Is it your housemaid? Is it what they call a hireling? You see your children for only 3 months in a year. Do you know who's commanding them? Listen, Mike Murdock said that those who transfer information also transfer prejudice. Who is feeding your children information? What they are going to become tomorrow, what is the amount of input you are putting into it? You think you just throw money into it and they'll turn out okay? Listen, anybody you hire to take care of your children is just a hireling. They can never be the true shepherds of those children. They go to church on Sundays. A Sunday school teacher has them for only 2 hours in a whole week. That is not enough to teach them righteousness. You are the one that will teach them with a loving heart, firm hands, and a loving heart to say, my son, this is the right way to do. My daughter, this is how to behave in life. That is how they will not turn out later in life to become something that will give you sorrows. Listen to me. We are talking about how to value prosperity. If you have a good family, a good home, good children, that is prosperity of greater value than billions of naira. So you can never, it is foolishness to sacrifice that because you are pursuing money. That was why I said the other time that Paul Getty's son said money was a curse to our family. And don't forget, this was the richest family on the earth in their days. Listen, ask yourself every time, what am I sacrificing for what? Sometimes people are so free, they sacrifice what is expensive to get what is cheap. If I told you I went to the market and I bought a shirt, all right, it's just a normal shirt, locally made around the market area, and I pay, and the man collected a pair of Italian shoes from me to give me that shirt, wouldn't think I'm a foolish man? Because you know that these Italian shoes that I know you were wearing, maybe you estimated the cost to be 30,000 naira, and this shirt, you know, you could have gotten it somewhere else for just 1,000. You will look at me and say I'm foolish. Yet we do that same thing with our lives every day. We sacrifice our children, our relationship with our wives and our husbands because we want to be able to use an iPhone 6. We want to be able to use an expensive phone. You want to be able to travel abroad. You want to be able to show off to people that, yes, I just came back from London the other day. Ranting nonsense. What are your children going to be tomorrow? Listen, don't do things that will make your children look back and curse you and say your prosperity was a curse to our family. What am I trying to say? Maintaining a good relationship with your loved ones is a matter of wealth. It's a matter of prosperity. Sometimes you see a man, after many years, he wants to go and look for another wife. Why? Listen, I like one thing the Frenchman said. He said, love many women, you have loved none at all, but love one woman, you have loved them all. I think the one wife that God has given you, put the energy into it to make sure your marriage is successful. And that indeed is a form of prosperity that is valuable than a lot of wealth that you are pursuing. I hope you've gotten my point.
We trust you are blessed by that short teaching. For more messages, books, and other materials, please visit our website, pastor.ng. Don't forget to share these resources with others. God bless you.